Welcome to episode 10 of Matt and Scott pick their favorite Barbra songs, album by album, bit by bit, beat by beat, part by part, sheet by sheet. Welcome to the show, Matt. How are you today?
Hi, I'm good. I'm mellow. I feel like I've got the long weekend mellows.
But are you not coming off the amazing high of having Jay Landers for 3 straight weeks on the show?
Oh, well, I mean, Jay is just such a pleasure. My gosh. I mean, we had such a great time with him. I hope everybody enjoyed his episodes as much as we did talking to him.
I mean, from the comments, people really seemed to get what a big deal it was to hear from him. He's not someone who's out about talking, and the fact that he shared his time with us was incredible.
He's a private guy, and but as you all can see, he tells great stories. He's a great storyteller.
Yeah, I mean, he's just been around for so much, and that was incredible. And for those of you who don't know, we're doing this because Matt has written a book about Barbra Streisand, her music, her albums, her singles, and Jay Landers wrote the foreword. So that's why we had Jay on, and we are counting through the albums. If you've missed earlier episodes, go back, man. There's a lot of fun things out there. And we're out of the vinyl. I feel sad, but look how easy it holds up. Here's this little small CD for The Mirror Has Two Faces. That's where we're starting. We have skipped some of her soundtracks when she doesn't sing, but when she sings, we've been covering them. So we have The Mirror Has Two Faces. This is her last directing, right?
Yeah.
That's sad, isn't it?
I know. 1996. Wow. It's been a while.
Yeah, she needs to direct one more thing. Come on. So this only has 2 songs on it, and I went the way I had to go, which was to pick I Finally Found Someone. I really like both songs, but I Finally Found Someone is so singable, and it's such a great song. It fits the movie well. It makes you so happy at the end. I just love this song.
Great. I'm picking All of My Life, which is the bonus track, the last track on the CD, recorded, possibly for the movie, but not used. It's more ballad than I Finally Found Someone is. And you can hear some of the same musical themes in the song, but I love it. If I put this album on, I usually listen to that song and not I Finally Found Someone. Isn't that interesting?
That is crazy. I mean, there's only one more track to go, and you're stopping it at the end?
Yes.
Did you see this one in the theater, I assume? Because you were a big Barbra fan by then, right?
I did. Yeah, I was living in Atlanta at the time, and I went to my little local theater and saw it. I was so excited. I couldn't wait to see it. And of course, I think she was on Oprah publicizing the movie. So that just really got me excited to see her talk about the movie on Oprah, and they played clips. And of course, the song was out, and it just what a great time.
So now we go to Higher Ground. And I just want to say that I don't like this cover. So I've always had my CD. I like this one so much better. I wish this was the cover. I love this picture of her. So I leave my CD normally like this. I switched it out.
Yeah, I think the cover image is divisive in the fan community. There's people that love it, and there's people that really don't like it so much.
Well, I mean, it's fine. I just think this is my Barbra. I like this Barbra, so yeah, I leave it that way. What do you think about this album?
In general?
Yeah, in general.
I like this album. I think of this as her Rosie O'Donnell years. I think of this album always with A Love Like Ours too. It's almost kind of like they were companion albums in a way. So I always sort of pair them together for some reason. And when I say the Rosie O'Donnell years, I mean, Rosie helped make this #1, this album. She, this was the first time she had Barbra on as a talk show guest. And she talked about Barbra coming on for weeks ahead of time. She asked her guests about Barbra. She switched her set around for Barbra. She played clips from the album until Barbra arrived on the show. So, you know, thank you, Rosie. I mean, I hope Columbia Records sent her some flowers or some chocolates or something, because boy, did she help sell this album.
Yeah, I remember her always playing the end of Holy Ground. She always played that loud note on her button thing that she would push. She played that so much that I always think of Rosie when I listen to On Holy Ground.
Yeah.
And if anyone out there knows Rosie, we'd like to get her a copy of the book. I think she would love the book. So Rosie, you should be watching this anyway. Contact us. First of all, you can be a guest on our show. And second of all, we would like to get you a copy. I think I went first last time, and I'm going to go first again because I wanna. I love Lessons to Be Learned on this one. Again, not one that I probably gravitated to the first time I heard the album. There were other songs that I sort of went to, but over time, Lessons to Be Learned, I like what it says. And it's Bergman's as well. I can't remember off the top of my head who wrote the music, but I just really like what it has to say. To me, this is a Barbra song. This is the most Barbra song.
You know what, Scott?
Album.
There's no Bergmans involved in that song at all.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, it's Alan Rich, Dorothy C. Gaisley, and Marcia Malamé.
Right. That is because
Marcia's name right.
Of course, that is because. And you know, I know that a real person would redo this. Leading with Your Heart. Leading with Your Heart is my pick.
Oh.
Yeah, the Bergmans and Marvin Hamlisch.
The other L title.
Yeah, and they're right next to each other. They're 9 and 10. And I just want to say that so many people enjoy watching this show for our mistakes and pointing them out. Look, I made another one. It's almost like I'm human. Yeah, I'm Leading with Your Heart is my favorite song, not Lessons to Be Learned.
Do you know what I've started putting in the description on YouTube for these videos? These are unscripted. So you get what you get.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Leading with Your Heart. Everything I said about Lessons to Be Learned is true. It's the most Barbra song. It's the Bergmans. It's Marvin Hamlisch wrote the music. It's beautiful, right. And that's my pick. Oops.
I love it.
What's your pick?
I'm going to go with On Holy Ground. If I put this on Spotify or if I listen on iTunes, I always listen to On Holy Ground. And you also have to have, 6 minutes of your life free, because you can't just drop in the middle. It's like this train, right? You got to take the whole journey, and then you get off at the end. And there's this huge finale that's amazing. Mervyn Warren arranged it, and he talks about Barbra experiencing the spirit when she sings it. And I experience the spirit when I hear her sing it. I mean, it's definitely, I'm not a churchgoer, but I feel like I'm going to church when I listen to On Holy Ground. I love it so much. It's such a great song.
Yeah, it is a great pick. I love it. Now we're moving on to Love Like Ours, which this is another one that you've got to get other versions to get all the songs, which we do cover in the book. You do a good job of letting us know. What were the bonus? Was it Target for this one, or was it Tower Records, or you had to go somewhere else to get the other extra songs, right?
Yeah.
Because mine folds out, and I have this other disc that has Let's Start Right Now, but I really do not remember where you had to buy it somewhere special to get it. I remember that.
Yeah, it came with an extra disc, some of the copies, and then if you bought a single, I think from Europe, then you got both of the extra songs, which are
The Island.
No, that's not extra. Beyonce's Just Because and Let's Start Right Now. They were definitely both recorded during the sessions for this album, but they did not make it onto the final disc, and they're included on the Europe EP CD that you can still get. They're great songs too.
Yes, they are.
I like Let's Start Right Now out of the two, but yeah.
What's your pick off this one?
Yeah, I like this album better than Higher Ground. And looking at the songs, I'm going to go with Isn't It a Pity by the Gershwins. I just think it's a beautiful melody. I love the lyrics. I love Barbra's rendition of it. Yeah, it's a classic.
Well, and they made it for her and James as well. Some of the lyrics are different, right?
I don't think she changed any lyrics. No.
Really? So it really is in Colorado, and you had all that stuff. So I always really thought that was a little bit of touch to get the two of them. The CD book is phenomenal. I mean, I know that Jay said he's working on getting these on vinyl, and I really hope that's true because there's great pictures in here, a lot of their wedding pictures. I agree with you. I like this album better than Higher Ground. It's a little more fun. So my pick is The Music That Makes Me Dance.
Oh yeah.
I think it was a really great idea for her to revisit the song from Funny Girl, the original, and it was one that was not in the movie, so we didn't get to hear Barbra sing it very much. And it just has a great ending. I think this is maybe one of the best endings of her album. It just builds and it has a really great ending, and they play a little bit of Don't Rain on My Parade, and that's the other one. I am like, People. I should not have drank before this. I'm thinking of You're Gonna Hear From Me, which is in our next episode.
But
this
Music
has
That
people.
Makes Me Dance does have People interpolated at the end. Yeah.
That's right.
So you were at least on the right show.
Right. I knew that it came back to something, but I was thinking of You're Gonna Hear From Me has Don't Rain on My Parade. But it's just a nice ending. And also the people, of course it's People, because this cover mirrors People. So it wouldn't make sense to have it. So I couldn't agree more. And by the way, that Scott's made 2 mistakes. I expect mean comments to say, he doesn't know anything about Barbra. That's what I thought all along.
Oh no.
Yes. Moving on. Timeless, which I could have went to see and I didn't. And it really makes me angry that I didn't go see. Like, I really should have went to see this. That's the one that I didn't go to because I had just gone to the concert the couple years. I was still poor. It was still a little out of my reach. But now I think, who would have cared? I should have went. It makes me angry.
I tried to get tickets when she did it in New York. I called Ticketmaster because that's what you did back then. You called Ticketmaster. Right. And I couldn't get through, and I took it as a sign. I didn't really have the money anyway. I was poor in 2000. I wasn't affording a trip up to New York City and a hotel and a ticket, and so it's okay. You know, that's why they film these things and why we got the TV show and the DVD and the CDs, 2 CD disc, one of her double albums.
Yes, and you do a great job in the book of going through the differences of the DVD and the CDs.
Yeah, and you know, I didn't plan on doing that, but when I was writing the book, I was like, let me listen to this again. And I started recognizing that the sound is different on a lot of the tracks on the CD versus the DVD. And in general, you know, without going into each and every one, in general, all of her introductions to the songs are not on the DVD. It sounds like they used quicker, shorter, more concise intros on the CD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, I thought that was very interesting, and there's even some tracks that way. I don't watch Timeless as much as I feel that I should, but while we were working on the book, I watched every released concert while, you know, as we were going through, just so I was aware, and I loved it. I mean, I really hadn't seen it in a very, very long time, too long. I seem to watch either the concert or 2006. What do you go to if you're going to watch a Barbra concert? What are you probably going to go to?
I go to 2006. Timeless, I have to be in the mood for. You know, Timeless is a weird show. It's weird. You know, it's got, you know, her set looks the most un-Streisand-like out of all of them. You know, it's that pyramid. It's very Shirley MacLaine, but I don't know if it's very Barbra. Anyway, I mean, and then you've got Brother Time, and you've got the characters, you've got, you know, Mini-Me Barbra. I mean, it's a weird show, but if I'm in the mood, I'll watch it. And I also do like her vocals. Like, I think she sounds, I think a word I use in the book is, her voice sounds kind of sterling in this concert, in the Timeless concert. Like, she's really like, she hits all the notes. She doesn't show any strain, but she has sort of like, it has sort of like a silvery tone to her voice. And she doesn't elaborate a lot. You know, usually she's singing a lot of Streisandisms when she sings live, but on this concert, she just sings the notes and hits everything. And it's lovely. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, when I went back and watched it, I think I never thought about it before, but you're right. It does feel like it's not Streisand-y.
Yeah,
that was my memory. But when I watched it, it tells a really good story. It's the most different of her concerts. Let's put it that way. And when you put it aside for a while and you come back to it, it's kind of a revelation. I don't think it's the kind of thing that you could watch like over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But in watching it, I loved it. What's your favorite from this one?
Yeah, so 2 CDs, lots of songs. I mean, talk about, you know, when Barbra says she doesn't like to concertize, I mean, look at this show. I mean, she is working. But out of all the songs, I'm going to go with Alfie. I think this version, this live version of Alfie is just amazing. She sounds so good. I wish we had a track that began with the vocal and missed the introduction, because in order to listen to Alfie, you have to listen to her tell that whole story about going to the recording studio in a cab and hearing somebody on the radio. Who is that? Oh, it's me. Like, I just wish we could cut to what's it all about. But that being said, I listened to her sing Alfie live more than I listened to the studio version on What About Today.
I agree. I didn't pick Alfie, but in my Barbra playlist, I have this version of Alfie, not What About Today. And, you know, this is a thing for you young kids. Get off my lawn. So I don't listen to Spotify or Apple Music. I actually listen to MP3s in my phone. And in iTunes, you can say where a song starts.
Yeah.
So that's clipped out of my iTunes. So it just starts with Alfie. So that's one of my favorite things that iTunes lets you do. I'm sure Apple's going to take it away from me someday, but mine actually plays that way. Now, my pick for this one is kind of a strange one. But mine is Something Coming with Lauren Frost.
Yeah.
And this is a really personal pick for me because my children, you know, they don't love Barbra, but they've grown up with Barbra. So Barbara's like, you know, another relative that we have in the family because they've never not heard Barbra sing since they were kids. Well, my youngest daughter, she loved Lauren Frost and was really way in to Barbra because she was, I don't know, maybe like 8 when I showed her this concert. So she loves that version of Something Coming. And it's just like a really nice memory with me and my daughter. Like that's the version she wants to hear. And so when I think of Timeless, I think of watching that with my daughter. So it may not be the best version, but for me, I love that part. So,
well, I've said this before too. I like the orchestration of it. I mean, you know, the Broadway album is that synthesized fake snapping. And to hear an orchestra conducted by Marvin Hamlisch play Something's Coming, it just sounds fantastic. My God, what a great opener.
I'm glad you mentioned Marvin, because Marvin works his ass off in this concert. Like Down with Love, or I shouldn't be speaking without looking today. What is the really, there's
You're
a really
fired.
tempo one early on. Oh, maybe it's Lover Come Back to Me.
Yeah, that's in the first act.
Like that, the orchestration of that is so good. And even the main event, I mean, he did a great job on this one. So
Dearly departed Marvin. He died too soon. He left us too soon.
Most definitely. So
I met him at the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra when I worked there.
I did.
I asked him for an interview and he declined. But then I weaseled my way to be his caretaker when he was appearing with the orchestra. So I got to meet him anyway, and I spent an afternoon at a table with him. And he was just Marvin. He was so sweet and just struck up a conversation with me. I mean, you know, who was I? Just some kid. But he was very sweet and tall.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I saw him with the Pittsburgh Symphony with Linda Eder, but I didn't get to meet him or anything.
Yeah, and I saw him, God, here we are telling Marvin Hamlisch stories. And then I saw him again when I lived in Washington, D.C. He was appearing at the Kennedy Center. And let me get this right. Liz Callaway sang his song. So she sang Nobody Does It Better. I think she sang The Way We Were. And there was a male performer that sang something too. Anyway, it's all memories right now, and I'm not withdrawing very well, but he was always a pleasure to see perform.
I've never seen Liz Callaway, but that would be a great one. I have her CD, and
I love Liz Callaway. And God, we're going down all these tangents. You know, Liz Callaway was Barbara's stand-in for the 2006 concert. So when Barbara wanted to see what something looked like from the audience, Liz would sing on stage and Barbara would go out front.
I've not heard that.
Yeah.
I wonder why they didn't ask you or me.
The hair?
Yeah, it could be. I'd wear a wig. So you've got the last CD on this one, Christmas Memories. Great cover. I love that cover.
This is the Target exclusive. So that means that when you open it, you get a bonus disc, which is God Bless America, which she sang live for a President Clinton fundraiser. And here is something that everybody should know if you're a collector in the digital age. If you buy this on iTunes, or if you listen to it on Spotify, they include the bonus track, God Bless America.
So at least there you can get it. What's your pick on this album?
Oh, you know, speaking about the Callaways, I'm going to go with Christmas Lullaby, which was written by Hampton Callaway, who is Liz's sister. I think Christmas Lullaby is probably one of my, well, if you don't count Idina Menzel's Christmas album, it's probably one of my newest Christmas carol favorites. Because, you know, I have my favorites just because I've listened to Christmas carols, you know, for decades now.
Right.
But Christmas Lullaby I've let into my repertoire of things that I listen to over and over again. And it has one of the most beautiful lyrics, for someone lovely at snow falling. Oh God. I mean, that is just the most beautiful lyric. Thank you, Hampton Callaway. I love it.
Did Barbra debut this song?
Good question. I want to say no. It's not overly recorded. So it was probably on maybe even one of Hampton Callaway's recordings before it was with Barbra. But, you know, Hampton had contributed songs to A Love Like Ours. So, you know, Hampton Callaway was on this sort of Barbra boat these days where she managed to get, you know, a song on almost every album for a few albums.
Yeah, that's why I wondered that maybe she had written it for her, because I knew she did it at the same time.
And by the way, I mean, God, talk about tangents. You know, Hampton Callaway is lovely. And I've seen her perform live. And I even took a class with her. She was my teacher when I was studying, you know, the art of cabaret and singing. And I was so outrageously bold, and I didn't even know it. The song that I choose to perform to get coaching from Hampton Callaway was Blues in the Night, which she won a Tony Award for singing it on Broadway. I didn't know. And here I was, just ballsy, just singing Blues in the Night in front of Hampton Callaway, who won the Tony Award, singing that song in that show. I mean, she's lovely, though. She's lovely as snow falling.
Oh, nice wraparound. Good job. Well, as someone who loves Stephen Sondheim, I mean, I gotta pick I Remember. I was so excited when Barbra was going to do this. I think it's great that Sondheim wrote her a little intro. You know, almost everyone who does a Sondheim album, and I said almost, they sing I Remember. It's a very covered song. I have a ton of people doing it, but I think it's interesting that people aren't picking up the Christmas side of it and doing it as a Christmas song. I haven't heard anyone but Barbra do it. If anyone out there knows of someone who did, let us know. I'd love to hear it. But, you know, when you put Barbra and Sondheim together, you're always going to have me pleased. And
I love that song.
I think just like everyone... Go ahead.
I knew it from Maureen McGovern and Diane Reeves, two of my favorite vocalists. And they both covered this song, but not with, it was pre-Christmas lyrics, but yeah.
I knew it from Bernadette Peters singing it on Mandy Patinkin's Dress Casual.
Yeah,
But I do have Diane Reeves' version, which is phenomenal.
Let's talk about Diane Reeves, underrated, fantastic. See her live.
I mean, the music to Good Night and Good Luck.
Yeah.
She does the whole soundtrack. And that's another vinyl that I wish so much would come out. I do have the CD and I listen to it all the time. She's got a great voice. She was just at the Kennedy Center honors for George Clooney this year, just a couple weeks ago, singing
I didn't know that.
a song for George from that movie. So, I mean, we are wrapping all things around. We couldn't have done a better job on this episode of bringing in all kinds of things. While we're here, though, I do have to say that, like I think a lot of people, when this album came out, I was disappointed in it.
Because it wasn't Christmas-y enough?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't what you were expecting as a follow-up to a Christmas album. Over time, I don't feel that way about it at all. I love it now. But that first listen, I was disappointed. And sometimes you got to let Barbra give you what she's giving you, not what you want her to give you. And that was my problem. It was me who had the problem going into Christmas.
It's a trap that many fans fall into. And it has sparked many Facebook thread about, you know, I would offer to the fans listening and watching us today that it was the 2000s when Barbra stopped meeting our expectations and just recorded whatever the hell she wanted, and including this album. Yeah, it's not very Christmassy. It really isn't. But she did it her way, you know?
and it's great.
See that come up when she gets to the movies.
Right. Definitely. I mean, so if, again, I feel like the lesson of this episode has been, if you haven't listened to it in a while, go back. This is a good section. So that's our episode. We'll be back next week, of course, with more. And as always, go to tuckerdspress.com and order the book, because it is coming sooner than you think. So you want to get those orders in. And we thank you for sharing this episode and all of that.